Hi, hope you're having a nice lunch. You know, Shakespeare once said, "A rose by any other name would smell as sweet." Well, a tax increase by any other name would stink as to high heaven. That's what we're talking about today's video. You know, we do this every day around lunchtime, and please tune in and bring your friends in. This so-called Gang of Six that's working now on trying to craft a solution to the debt limit issue are a sneaky bunch, and particularly onerous are the Republicans who are part of that Gang of Six senators: Coburn of Oklahoma, Crapo of Idaho, and Chambliss of Georgia. If you live in one of those states, deluge them with letters, please, because they are really way out of line. And so is Lamar Alexander, the Republican senator from Tennessee, who's supporting their efforts. They have this great plan. Oh, it's so wonderful. I saw an email that Mike Crapo sent out in Idaho. I'm going to cut individual tax rates below 29%. I'm going to cut the capital gains tax. I'm going to eliminate the alternative minimum tax. I'm going to cut corporate taxes. I'm going to cut everything. Oh, and I'll generate the same revenue I do now, plus $1 trillion over the next decade. Period. Silence. No indication of where that extra money is coming from. That's a huge amount of money to make up. And what it really amounts to is essentially the flat tax, because they're going to eliminate virtually all of the deductions. But that's going to be a secret. They're not going to tell us that until 2013, when the election's over. Now they'll just talk in general about future revenue increases. And what that means, in particular, is the end of the mortgage interest deduction. What a time to end it. The real estate industry is half dead in the United States. There are people who are losing their homes and can't afford them as it is. And now all of a sudden, in the middle of the home ownership, you're going to change the rules of the game and tell them they can't deduct their mortgage interest? And at a time when state and local government taxes are soaring to try to adjust for the revenue loss that they face, they're going to eliminate the deductibility on your federal tax return? That's the equivalent of a 25 to 35% state and local property and income tax increase for the average person. And at a time when we want to be helpful to poor people and all of that, we're eliminating the charitable deductions so that basically the only way they get help is through government, not through private charity. This is absolutely horrific. And what it does is it locks in not just the current level of taxation, but the current level plus $1 trillion, which expands the permanent size of the federal footprint. And right now, they, of course, will lower the tax rate on corporations and individuals, but they're obviously going to increase them in the future. And so this is one giant con job. They're passing this because they're saying, we're going to cut everything, we're going to cut spending, we're going to cut the deficit, but they're not telling you the bad news, which is they're going to raise taxes. And of course, Obama's delighted with this package. He wants all of it because it's a backdoor way to increase taxes. And here's something that's even worse. They're talking about enforcement mechanisms. How do we make sure Congress really does pass these spending cuts and tax increases over the 10 years? And what they're talking about is an automatic tax trigger so that your taxes will automatically go up. Or if the Congress doesn't vote them to go up, this will be the default way the taxes will go up. In other words, if they don't vote something else, we'll raise the rates by 2 or 3 points. These are all absolute sleights of hand, and those Republican senators who are involved in it should be recalled and thrown out of office if it's legal to do that in the states, and if not, just sit and wait for them to come up again and then go after them. Boy, and I hope the House of Representatives turns this down. I hope the House Republicans aren't snookered by this. I hope Boehner's not snookered by it, even though he's giving every sign of being snookerable. Is that a word? Okay. So have a nice lunch, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.